I mean, you can't have those people work for you all the time and not care about them.
Oh, unless you don't care about them, of course.
No,
But, maybe
you have to care about them.
But he must work them like dogs.
I don't think so. I think it's mostly automated at this point. And the point is that like I think if I believe in this 3D printer scenario of his magic bag, right? Well, then why the elves don't really have to work that hard? They have to work on the technology, right? The upkeep of that.
Wait,
but they don't have to build toys all year round.
But okay, so if we're saying Santa has the 3D printer now,
yeah.
What did he do before the 3D printer?
Well, he
had a 3D printer. It doesn't look like the 3D printers that we have today. It's actually kind of a steampunk kind of looking contraption.
That lives in his sack.
Yeah, it's all like wood and brass and copper. And
where'd he get it?
He made it.
Yeah. He and the elves made it, yeah. The elves made it to his specs.
I suspect he didn't always have it, but to keep up with current demand, right? I mean, way back when it was just like, oh, there's like 4,000 kids to get to. Oh, no.
Yeah, and the toys are
so
basically like pieces of wood.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was easy back in that.
There's no problem. Now he has to an iPad? Really? Okay, I guess I will just grab my 3D printer and print it out of the coal or the soot in the chimney.
That has got to cut into Apple's bottom line.
Yeah,
I know. Actually, there is a physics professor at the University of London has actually theorized that perhaps Santa's fudging just a little bit and outsourcing a lot of that stuff to China. So it might be that he's not making everything.
I choose to disbelieve that.
Really?
I choose to believe that he is making everything and that now the elves, they're in charge of the basic upkeep of, his sack.
So they're all elven middle managers at this point, basically?
Oh, they can't all be middle managers.
No,
there's a couple elven supervisors, but...
It's not middle management. It's, technology upkeep. That's not middle management.
Oh,
That's
so it's elven IT.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
And mechanics and, stuff like that. They have to keep this thing up, right?
Yeah, and then there's the shop stewards, and you've got your janitors, your elven janitors, and stuff like that.
So if we're talking Santa's worried about safety, I'm assuming they're not wearing the green funny shoes with the little bells at the end anymore.
Yeah, I suspect.
Because those I imagine would get sucked into things quite easily.
Yeah, I imagine they're not wearing those anymore.
I heard that quite a few of them did get sucked into the machinery, and it was unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I guess my last kind of question that I have is how does he make it to everyone's house in one night?
Magic.
I know Steve's answer is magic.
Magic.
Joe, do you have a good answer? Because I have a really good answer.
I'm thinking wormholes, and
it's close. Close to my answer.
It's wormholes, and the thing I'm thinking about Santa too is that he would be a virtual treasure trove of technological information if we could get our hands on him. And I hope the military is working on that.
No, I think that they're just choosing to let him have what he has.
You think so?
Yeah,
they might ask him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, think about it. And like now, for example, like if you look at say the Iraq War, I mean, the buildup for that was months because it takes so long just to ship all that crap over there, tanks and Humvees and all kinds of stuff. They have to go on ships and planes. If we could get Santa's technology for transporting all that crap over there, just like bing,
Well, again,
wow.
Santa isn't transporting that much. He's just transporting his magic
bag of stuff.
Of 3D printer or whatever. And I think he's using antimatter.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a thing that NASA is hoping to develop to cut down the time that it takes to get from Earth to Mars to a matter of weeks. And basically what it is you collide matter with antimatter. The explosion, the force of their energy coming together is so great. It just is like this amazing propulsion system that makes you go super, super fast in a super, super short amount of time. Travel the world in one night. If you could make it to Mars in a couple weeks, you could travel the world a couple times in one night.
Well, you probably could. The only problem is, of course, Santa would be flattened like a pancake by the acceleration forces.
No.
Unless, of course, he's a supernatural being, which, he might be.
He might at this point.
I have a better theory.
What's your theory?
There's not one Santa.
Oh.
Santa has cloned himself.
Oh.
There is 8 bazillion Santas. I don't know how many it would require.
That could
and
be.
Each one has a county or a district, and they just deal with their own area.
Oh.
And, the rest of the year, they sit in malls and talk to children at the little kiosks.
That's not a bad theory. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody ever seen Santa?
Because he's a magic
Yeah.
being.
He's not magic.
He's
No,
a ghost?
No.
He's actually kind of like a master cat burglar. That's why.
He might be. So that's actually my theory. I read a lot of theories in doing my research for this about why people haven't seen Santa delivering gifts, right? You see him in the mall or whatever. But, some people said he has an invisibility cloak. Some people said that he has some kind of Men in Black style memory eraser that he uses on anybody who sees him so they forget that they saw him. I feel like those are all just like crazy. I just think...
Yeah, that's not realistic at all.
Those are stolen out of 2 movies there.
And I just feel like, and it is that kids fall asleep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kids tend to fall asleep.
And they just miss Santa.
Wait, are you saying that Santa exudes something like
No, I'm
sleep
not saying.
gas?
I'm saying there's nothing weird about this. I'm just saying that it's 3 a.m. and you are a child and you're asleep.
Yeah, but...
And so you missed Santa.
But the adults in the house might still be awake.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, we have come to our deep faith in Santa. We know Santa exists. We don't feel like we need to see Santa. That's not an important thing as an adult, right? It's important as a kid.
I saw Santa.
When?
As a kid.
When?
When I was a kid.
When?
He
Like
woke me
delivering
up on
presents?
Christmas morning and dumped a bag of toys on me.
You're thinking of your
So
father.
you saw him. Wow.
Well, no, I ran outside. My dad was outside pointing at the roof, and there was tracks on the roof in the snow.
But you said you saw Santa, so did you see the tracks in the snow or did you see Santa?
I saw both. I saw Santa, and I was agog with, I got the RC car. I want, oh my, wait, Santa. I gotta find Santa. And went screaming out of my bedroom and found my dad standing outside pointing at the roof. Mm-hmm. I've seen Santa. He's real.
I don't know.
Is this another case of magic, Steve?
No, I saw Santa.
Okay.
I think you saw an imposter because,
Maybe.
No, I think what happens with Santa though is like I think he uses misdirection and things like that and distraction. So, for example, if there's a couple of adults awake in the house, before he goes down the chimney, he goes and throws a rock at their car and sets off their car alarm. They run outside, and then he goes down the chimney, distributes the presents, and back out just as they're coming back in the front door.
Maybe.
So he's just a master of that kind of technique.
Yeah, I guess I just think, it's not important to me as a true believer in Santa to see him because I know he exists.
Yes.
So...
Because he's magic.
He's not magic, Steve. He's just a little ahead of the technological curve.
Be realistic here.
I'm not talking to either of you anymore. He's magic.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. And so...
We've answered some questions about Santa. I know everybody was really scared that we weren't going to talk about Santa, but we did.
Yeah.
It's very important for us. So if you want to check out any of the links that I talked about, anything that I'm referencing, I actually have some research on this. You can check them out at our website. That website is thinkingsidewayspodcast.com. Send us an email if you have theories about Santa. That's thinkingsidewayspodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook. Just, Thinking Sideways Podcast. I know that's a shocker.
Yeah.
You can listen to us on our website. You're probably listening to us on iTunes. If you are, remember to give us a comment and rating.
It is the giving season.
It is the giving season.
Send us some money.
No, we don't want your money, just your ratings and comments. If you are on the go, you didn't get a chance to download it, you forgot, give us a check on Stitcher. You can just stream right from your phone. Probably, I don't know, maybe your iPod at this point.
Yeah, iPod, phone.
iPad.
You can even do it on your computer at this point.
So, check us out there. And have a really good Christmas or holidays.
Ho, ho, ho. And by the way, stick around for April when we tackle another hard-hitting topic.
The
Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Fact or fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye all.
And it's magic. Thinking Sideways is not brought to you by Pickled Gizzards. Instead, it's supported by the generous donations of our listeners on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/thinkingsideways to learn more. And thanks.
Thinking Sideways.
I don't understand.
Does not compute.
You never know.
Insufficient data to formulate a reply.
What?
Stories of things we simply don't know the answer to.
Well, hey there. Welcome to an episode of Thinking Sideways, the podcast. I'm Devin, joined per usual by
Joe.
and
Steve.
we're going to talk about a mystery.
Is it really?
It's a scary mystery, too, on top of just being a mystery.
Yeah, how did we not do this in October?
Because not enough people asked for it.
Yeah, I don't think
But a lot of
anybody
people
asked for it.
have asked for it.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, you've been willfully ignoring it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
Once again, this is examples of where Joe doesn't look at the inbox.
yeah, he does not look at the internet stuff. So
I look at the inbox all the time. I
This-
answered a couple of emails just today.
he did actually, I saw.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Thank you, by the way.
Anytime.
So this week we're going to be talking about the Skinwalker Ranch, or how I learned to stop worrying and accept my alien overlords.
Wow. Good title. I like that.
It's a good title.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, oh boy.
Oh, I can always tell we're in for a ride
When I've named
when
it
you've
that way.
given subtext to the title of the episode.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be, buckle up, guys. It's
Yeah.
a good one.
But yeah, no, this is the place though, and the aliens finally decide to open up those time-space portals
It's
and,
this one.
and flood through and take over the world.
Yeah.
That's going to happen here, I'm sure.
It's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm going to give in. I'm just going to turn you two in as conspirators.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be a total Quisling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's funny because all they have to do is listen to our backlog and they'll know who their true ally is.
Uh-huh.
It's me,
Yeah.
obviously.
Nope, obviously not.
Yeah,
You've
it
been
is.
faking the whole time.
Oh.
You can tell by your sarcasm.
Aliens won't know what sarcasm is, let's be fair.
Yeah,
See
good
right there,
point.
that's why she's going to get vaporized first.
Okay,
Well,
we're
yeah.
already off track. All right,
Okay.
restart.
Okay.
Today we're going to talk about what's widely accepted as the weirdest place in America, although I have been to the Oregon Vortex, so I say no. That's the weirdest spot.
That is a weird place, I hear.
Yeah.
I had not been there actually.
Yeah.
We've never been to my family's house. It's actually a pretty weird place too. So I'll put that on the list.
Okay, that's fair, yeah. Anyway, Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. Since its creation almost 50 years ago, I guess.
I don't know when
Founding?
it was created.
I think that's when it became all of it was
When-
consolidated.
Bought
I
and
guess is the
ranchified
word.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
All of,
Yeah.
well, all of the
Yeah.
acreage was brought under one kind of umbrella.
I think the house was actually built in 1926.
Yeah, but all of the land surrounding it
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
now Skinwalker Ranch, I think wasn't all a part of the same thing until
So the footprint was established in
Yeah.
50 years ago?
That's a good way
Yeah.
to say it.
Yeah, close enough.
Strange things have been afoot there since then, including hundreds of UFO sightings, animal mutilations, and sightings of strange animals. And there are 15 distinct phenomenons that have phenomena that have been
Phenomenons.
recorded. So we're gonna go ahead and just start there. No, we're not gonna talk about all 15. We'll talk about almost all of the 15, but not all 15.
Yeah, these these started, I believe, in the mid 1990s. Am I correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
when they started being cataloged, I guess. Yeah. And a few of them have backup in that, somebody who owned the property before mentioned. There are some articles from the 70s, the 60s and 70s that mention weird lights in the sky or things like that. So that's a little backup for some of these, but they weren't started being cataloged until the 90s. Yeah.
That's weird lights in the skies at this ranch, or
Yeah.
just in the general area.
General area.
General
I was
area.
I read some
Yeah.
of those newspapers. Thankfully Google's got all that cataloged, and I found a bunch of stuff from the area from about the 60s and 70s, late 60s forward, and read a number of them. And mostly it's weird stuff in the sky. It's not so much what we're about to go through, but
Yeah.
it's catalogs of odd events.
Yeah. Also, right off the bat, before we go too far into this, I should note that a lot of these stories about Skinwalker Ranch are contained solely in one of 4 separate books, all of which were authored by a guy named Ryan Skinner, who I guess is one of the lead investigators in the area.
I'm not really sure.
I'm
to be
not
honest.
sure. It's not totally clear. He definitely bills himself as having some really strong connection to Skinwalker Ranch, but I don't know. I didn't see. if
Well,
there
there's
was ever
Skinner,
something
and then
done.
there's George. What's the reporter's name?
Oh yeah, George Knapp.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of I would say legwork maybe, but he's another one of the sources that you'll find reference besides Walker.
No,
Skinner.
Yeah.
Got him switched.
I had a 50-50 shot at
You
that.
did. You sure did.
But I think the actual first mention of was it the Deseret News in like 1995 or 6.
Ballpark, yeah.
Local paper. They published an article about the ranch and about the current owners who were the Shermans.
Yeah.
Terry and Gwen.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But
And that was not George Knapp.
no, it was some other guy.
Let's talk about the weird kookiness here.
Yeah,
Come on,
we're gonna talk
we're
about
beating
the weird
around the bush.
Yeah.
People want to know about the strange thing.
They want to know about all of these things, so we're just gonna direct from the website. This is where I pulled this list from.
They have a really
It's not in
interesting
bullet
website.
format.
It's not in bullet format. That's true. I'm branching out, and it is. It's very interesting. So we're gonna go through the list, and then we'll come back and address some of these things.
Okay.
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 Cool. So 15th on the list. Oh, and
Is that the 14th runner-up?
Yes. You finally learned it. Okay. No, one of the things that I'm going to mention is that on this list, it's kind of like a little bit of a spreadsheet, and it has like the name and like a little bit of a description and then like some other information and then the percent chance you have of seeing this thing if you visit Skinwalker Ranch. So I'm going to include the percentages because I think it's important.
Can
that
I
our
just tell you
listeners
that
be well-informed.
somebody figured out how to use Excel, and that's the only reason these things are in there?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Some of these percentages are weird, so I don't know how they're calculating.
Oh, I didn't say
them.
they learned how to use it right.
Yeah.
They just learned how to use it.
Anyway, this phenomena, you have a 2% chance of seeing it, and it's called the portal. This is a window into another dimension that opens on the property, above the property. They're either orange or blue. There have been no reports of explosive lemons, however, so we are safe from GLaDOS for now.
What is GLaDOS?
Just, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Oh,
Is this a Fallout joke?
No, it's definitely not a Fallout joke. The portals open up for about 10 seconds, and they're about 500 to 1,000 feet in the air. The orange ones allow living creatures through, and the blue one is for vehicles.
So what happens to a vehicle when it comes through the portal and it drops
Is that a
1,000
Halo
feet?
joke?
No idea. Oh my god, stop trying to figure it out. No, I don't know. I think it's like flying vehicles, it's not
I
like
see.
terrestrial. Like it's not like a tank just falls from the sky.
Oh, okay.
No.
I see.
It's like flying craft.
Yeah, flying saucers.
Yeah,
okay,
things
okay,
like
I
that.
gotcha.
Okay.
I was just picturing it like a Chevy Impala. You know?
I know, when I first read it, I was too. I was thinking like, a tank just falling out of the sky, and I was like, that sounds dangerous.
Or if you happen to be sitting around down below,
Especially, yeah, so you gotta run real fast.
No wonder these people lost so many cows.
Yeah. 14 is the sentient mist. You also have a 2% chance of seeing this. And the mist is a dark smoke-like entity that may be just a transitional phase for something else. It's often seen taking the form of a humanoid with tentacles for arms, so it's possible it's just Taranga Munda. I'm really sorry, there are so many nerd references today. It's just...
Yeah, another
Is
one.
that a tentacle monster?
No, it doesn't matter. Anyways, the mist uses its tentacles to toxify victims by inserting the tentacles in the mouth and
Ooh,
using
gross.
a burning dust to suffocate them. The victims are immediately transported to the, quote, spirit world. I'm not totally sure how we know this. There was reports, but so I don't totally know how it is that we know that you go to the spirit world. Like,
That's a good
presumably
question.
somebody doesn't come back to life, but
Well,
hey.
how many people... So I take it that they've seen this thing a fair number of times and it kills people every time?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
This is like kind of a tough one to buy into.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Next up is the Cthulhu slug.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's number 11 on that list, but there's no information about it, not even how likely we are to see it if we went to Skinwalker Ranch. And it looks a whole lot like a really big leech, I think.
Ugh.
But literally the information on it is like, it's called the Cthulhu slug. It's a slug. It's big. It hurts people.
It's a big deadly slug.
That's all.
Okay.
Next up is water babies.
Oh, these are scary.
This is an actual thing that has been described by the local native communities in their myths. They were called Pawkapiks.
Or Pawapix?
Pawapix, thank you.
Yeah.
They're found in the water near Skinwalker Ranch, and they're known for their vocalizations, which sounds like crying babies. The creatures, in fact, resemble a small human with black hair. If you are fooled by the crying, the water baby will drag you into the water with all its might and drown you. No word on what happens to you at that point.
Do you go to the spirit world?
I guess, I don't know, but you have a 6% chance that they'll do it, and they'll cry for an hour.
So I don't think we said this before, but this whole thing takes place in Utah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of water.
Well, my question was, I don't really know Utah to be a mecca for pot use.
Yeah.
And yet this really sounds like what a bunch of stoners would talk about.
Oh, no, not stoners, but like some hallucinogens.
Yeah.
Okay,
they have,
guys on mushrooms.
Yeah, they have like peyote and stuff like that down there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true.
So yeah, that's probably
okay.
what it is.
All right.
Might be born of
Let's keep
peyote.
on.
Yeah,
I now know
some
what's the
maca.
cause. Got it.
Some maca.
So anyway, if you're in Utah and you see a crying baby in the water, don't try to rescue it.
Don't.
Yeah.
Solid advice.
Yeah.
Number 9, you've got a 30% chance of seeing
Ooh,
this.
much better.
It's the firefly sprites. Firefly sprites. These creatures are just really small balls of bluish light that float from the ground up to the sky. Just totally natural phenomena. I don't know why they have it on the list, because they even say it's a natural phenomenon, but hey, call me crazy.
But these things...
They had to get to 15 on that list because nobody believes the top 14.
That's fair.
Yeah, but the sprites aren't going to kill you at least?
No, they don't do anything. They don't interact. They just float up to the air.
No.
Number 7 is the dark one, and this is kind of where things start to get interesting. You have a 0.03% chance of seeing this thing.
So a 3% chance.
Yes.
No.
No.
3% of 3%.
3% of 1%?
Of 1%.
3% of 1%. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I saying here? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You know math.
Yeah,
tiny.
no, I'm bad at this.
So I mean, the odds of seeing the dark one are better. It's still better than winning the lottery.
They are, but it's interesting that the odds of seeing it are so low, but it has been reported, the sightings of the dark one have been reported by both the previous owners of the ranch and a lot of the investigators that go out there. So it's just weird that there are like actually so many reports of this thing when they're like, but it's really, really rare that you might see it. Anyway.
It might be that they just, the percentages, they just pull them out of thin air and it's just kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
I think that would require having a sense of humor about the whole thing, which I don't think they do.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know.
I went out to the website and I of course browsed it and looked at a bunch of different stuff, but I didn't actually thoroughly investigate it from top to bottom. I didn't look at every nook and cranny of the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Nor should you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so the phenomenon is like a vision, basically, you see a man standing alone, and he appears to be dressed as a primitive Native American, but also maybe like a Native Southern American, like an Aztec or Pueblo or Central American sort of thing. He doesn't speak, and it kind of appears that he's just experiencing a time slip. Because we've talked about what time slips are before, right? People know what time slips are. When you're just existing in your own time and you slip into a different time for a second and then slip back into your own time. It's not that.
So this guy is not physically in this world then?
No, he's not. He's seen through a portal, and his surroundings are visibly different than the surroundings that you view him in. So it's like seeing him through a window
So
or
he's like
something.
looking through a doorway.
Yeah, and he's always surprised that he's there and surprised that you're there. He doesn't speak. And there's some theory that he was maybe the person who opened the first portal on the land, and he's like trapped there, which is what keeps the portal alive.
Ooh, it sucks for him.
He's just seen for a minute or two, and like I said, the environment's different around him than where you are. Like if you're standing in the forest, it's like he's standing in a desert sort of thing. I don't know if it's that pronounced, but...
I now know where the entire concept of haven came from. Okay.
Yeah, another anomaly...
This
is Joe's favorite.
Which one? Oh, yeah, the bulletproof wolf.
Yeah, you're 15% likely to see the bulletproof wolf. And this bulletproof wolf appears to be almost a, like, dire wolf size, really large and imposing, and of course black.
Yeah, actually unnaturally large.
That's what they say, unnaturally large. The owners of the ranch feel that it's a physical manifestation of whatever, quote, whatever intelligence is on the ranch, unquote. And it sounds like there's a lot of intelligences on the ranch, so I don't know which intelligence we're talking about. Like if it's the native component or the alien component, or...
I'm sure the whole ranch was built on top of an Indian burial ground.
Oh, absolutely it was.
What it is,
but
yeah.
all of Utah was built over Indian burial ground, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be fair here. Apparently, it looks like a normal wolf, but it's bigger. But, quote, doesn't act like one, unquote.
Yeah.
Joe...
Well, you heard the story, you know, that it was like right after they moved into the ranch, this wolf...
The Shermans.
Yeah, the Shermans.
Yeah.
Terry and Gwen Sherman moved in, and then this wolf shows up, and he's not being aggressive or anything like that, but comes over to them and sort of like says hi, and then goes over and started trying to like pull a calf out of a pen.
Yeah.
And so they got a gun and they shot it, and it just didn't phase it at all. And they shot it again, and some guy got his high-powered 30-06 and shot it. And that took a little bit of patch of fur off of it, but other than that, didn't phase it at all. So they shot it like 4 times.
Yeah, and then it just like wandered away.
Or it could be. It could also be it's not bulletproof, and they were shooting at it and they were missing.
Yeah.
There's always that.
Sounds
No.
like it's possible.
No. They're the good guys.
Yeah, right.
Good guys never miss.
Never miss. Yeah. Flash drones are number 2 on the list. There's a 1 in 4 chance that you'll see a flash drone if you visit Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, I thought this was a rave thing.
It's just a light. I mean, really, it's just a light. Apparently, however, they have intelligence behind them.
How's that exactly?
They are curious. They're described as curious.
Playful, even.
Yeah, that they'll like approach humans and stuff like that.
Shine the light on them.
Yeah, I don't totally know. And actually, on the website, this is the anomaly that's written about the most. But apparently, they can mess with the electronics. These lights, specifically the electronics of the house. They hover silently, and they, like I said, they're kind of curious. And apparently, they will approach people, and they are influenced by meditation. Yeah, so if you meditate near them, they'll react in a way that's
Yet one more reason not to meditate.
Yeah.
You got to close your eyes to meditate, right? I'm not closing my eyes around those things.
Either.
Yeah.
And because I can't leave out the most frequently cited thing, we have the spotlight. You have a 46% chance of seeing this. I'm going to go ahead and briefly mention the fact that there is not a single phenomena on the list that you are more than 50% likely to see at any given time. Some nice
So they have
plausible deniability there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you go out there and have a look around, well, hey.
Well, I don't know. It's a flip of a coin. You got a bad night. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's like a motorcycle, the spotlight. Apparently, it's like a motorcycle driving anywhere between 10 and 40 miles per hour, which is like actually a huge variance, but okay. About 8 feet off the ground.
It's the hover bike.
Sirius Black. Pretty sure. Yeah.
And the spotlight can read minds.
Yeah, apparently it can read minds.
It's also got a tail light.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes,
That's
but
why.
not always. Sometimes it has a taillight, sometimes it doesn't, but it can read
A
minds.
red tail light.
Yeah.
Is it a red
specific.
taillight? Huh.
Very
Red
specific.
taillight, yeah. Sometimes, but not always. Sometimes. So, yeah. You guys want to talk about
Which ones of those do you like? What's your favorite?
none of them? Let's talk about all of them. So, Skinwalker Ranch is near Fort Duchesne, thank you. Which is like 40 or 50 miles from the border of Colorado.
Right about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to the
Yeah, it's
west
up in
of-
that. It's that weird northeastern notch
Yeah.
of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's at Fort Duchesne's a little white spot in the road, about 600 people, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and the ranch is just south of it.
Yeah, and as far as we can tell on Google Maps, even though this ranch isn't actually, you have to like kind of guess, where when you search the address of the ranch house, it's like, that place doesn't exist.
I found I think one of the websites, it might be one you gave us, or I found it had the coordinates.
Yeah.
And if you put in the coordinates,
That works.
the only thing that I ever found that mentions Skinwalker Ranch is a photo that somebody put up that's titled Skinwalker Ranch Entrance. That's the only way you find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went out and looked on Google Maps, and then I just called. I think it's pronounced Uintah County. I called their assessor's office and got the guy to look at the plat map for the area, and also to look at Google. And he gave me the parcel number for that particular spot, and I was able to look it up, and that is indeed owned by Bigelow Utah LLC.
This guy.
Using a phone.
Yeah, calling
This is like
people.
the third time in 3 months he's used a phone.
I don't like it.
again.
If I can't find it on Google. It does not exist in the world.
Yeah.
Is there somebody I could have just texted?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
And as an aside, when I had this guy from the county on the phone, I said, hey, I do a podcast about unsolved mysteries. And I said, have you heard of the Skinwalker Ranch? And he goes, oh, yeah. And I said, so apparently lots of people have seen all kinds of strange things.